Hi, I'm Deanne from Hummingbird Acres, and today we are going to work on growing our orchard on our homestead, and we are going to do it very, very cheaply. So today we are going to propagate this fig tree to make more baby fig trees that we can then take to our future homestead. We are currently on vacation at one of our favorite spots in Sedalia, Virginia, and they have a community garden as well as a pollinator garden and some other fruit trees on the property. And I asked if I could propagate some of these to take to our own homestead. So today we're going to work on propagating this fig tree. When I asked permission to take some cuttings from this tree to propagate, I also asked for a little history on this tree. This tree was planted many, many years ago as a permaculture. They wanted to bring permaculture to the center, but didn't really have all of the things that they needed. Not everyone was on board with it, but they agreed to plant one fig tree. This fig tree is down by the creek that runs through this property. It gets a little bit of sun, but not a lot of sun. So it hasn't really thrived because fig trees, like many of your other fruit trees, need a lot of sun, and this one just doesn't get enough. It does have some baby fruit on it, and this is the second year that it has fruited, but it's still not very big. We're hoping that we can take some cuttings, we can propagate it, and we can plant them in full sun on our future homestead. As you can see right here, there are a couple fruits. This one has 3 right here. So it is growing and it is fruiting. I do not remember what she told me if they got any fruit off of it last year. I do not think they actually got any of the ripe fruit off of this last year, but I would have to double check with that. And if we step back and look, you can see where they have used the permaculture practices to underplant this as well. So we have a coneflower over here, we have another pollinator over here, and over here we have a small raspberry bush. So they are definitely trying to use the permaculture practices to grow this fig tree. Their just one downside is that they did not plant this in a very sunny spot, which is okay. It's still growing, and hopefully they get some fruit this year. Let's jump right into propagating this fig tree. So you want, and some general rules when you are propagating. You want to propagate things that are green, not things that are brown. So we are going to, this branch here looks like a good one. So I'm going to take my snips and I'm going to cut right below a branch, just like that. I think I'm going to take 3 of these. So here are my 3 cuttings. All right, the next thing we're gonna do is prep these cuttings for rooting. And I'm going to remove a bunch of these branches. I'll probably leave about 1 or 2 at the top. So I have 2 right here. This big one, I'm gonna cut. And that little one, I'll probably just leave right like that. So here is our first cutting. Do that. Do the same thing with the next 2. Number 2. And this is the same process I use for propagating all of the things that I have propagated on our property. I will leave a link below to reference some of the other things. We've propagated rhododendrons, hydrangeas, even our dawn redwood tree. We've also propagated that. So here are our 3 cuttings. I'm going to take my root hormone. I'm going to swirl the end in. And then I'm going to take this and very gently push it in to my cup. This cup has potting soil in it that is damp but not soaking wet. So it is kind of like a wet sponge, damp. Then I have that, and I'm going to put it in our makeshift greenhouse. So I'm going to do it again. Swirl it around, shake it off, put it in, and in here it goes. I'm going to put a lid on this, and I'm going to put it on the south side of a building so that it gets indirect light but not full sun. In about 6 to 8 weeks we will check on it, and we should have some baby roots on them, and then from there we can decide if we are going to pot them up or leave them in this container. Here we have our fig tree seedlings in our greenhouse. Some things I'm going to watch for while our seedlings are taking root. I want to make sure that there is enough humidity in here. So I want to make sure that the sides of the container have a little bit of humidity on them, and if they do start to dry out, I want to make sure I add more soil or more water to the soil. And I just want to make sure that it stays out of direct sunlight so that they don't burn. But the big thing is making sure they have a little bit of water in the bottom, and the greenhouse effect should make it so it has enough humidity for them to grow. We love propagating different trees and plants on our homestead. It is a great way to grow your homestead cheaply if you have a little bit of time, which we do. We have a little bit of time. We're not at our future homestead yet. So taking some time and propagating things and letting them grow slowly is right our speed. We are excited about these fig trees, and we are going to propagate some kiwi vines next. So make sure that you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you can see how we propagate. And if you want to see more of our propagation videos, check out the link right here. Thanks guys for visiting the farmhouse, and we will talk to you soon.